blast off and the clock has started.
Penis!
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And we're back with a new episode. Welcome to Art Mart episode 8.
8.
We've been kind of chunking around a little bit here.
We're kind of chunking around?
Yeah, I mean, we did 3 episodes of Brutal Brunch, and this is our first episode of Art Mart in like 2 weeks.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we are fully back now, everyone. We
fully back is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, because it was Mark's not here, and then
Nathan's not here. But we have 2 very solid replacements.
Yeah, we got 2 dogs.
We have 2 dogs in place of Mark and Nathan.
As one of them was coughing.
I feel like that's like Mark's little the sarcasm, just chirping in. She's trying her best.
Yeah, and the cool part is it's New Year's.
It is New Year's.
It's New Year's, so as we introduce ourselves, I'm Nathan. I mean, shit.
You're who?
I was just thinking about him getting exposed to COVID.
Yeah, probably not great. No, you're not Nathan.
No, I'm Trip.
I'm Nathaniel.
Jesus Christ, what a good start.
Fantastic start to the year.
Fantastic. So this is our New Year's resolution episode.
Ah, yes.
So Nathaniel and I are both sober this month of alcohol.
I feel like a lot of people are.
Yeah, you and I were talking about this before we started this. Like, this is the driest month of the whole year. Like, everyone takes
because everyone's like, oh man, I need to get rid of the holiday pounds and then the COVID holiday pounds too.
Oh Jesus! And do you think we're going back into lockdown?
I don't think we'll ever go back into lockdown because of the vaccinations and because any politician who puts people under lockdown after they're vaccinated is never going to win any office for the rest of their lives.
No, I agree with you 100%.
So even if it's like the best choice for our public safety, politicians might not take that into account fully.
No, I don't think so. This like, I don't know about the rest of the world, like everyone listening right now, but this is the worst Denver's ever been.
In terms of, I mean, it's the U.S. set a world record COVID positive rate every day this week that they reported numbers.
Yep.
And yeah, no one's going into lockdown. Wear a mask though.
Yeah, I mean, wear a mask,
As long as they don't shut gyms down again.
I can't do it. That's what I love about my gym. There's no mask mandate because it's so small.
Really?
Yeah.
My gym has a mask mandate unless you prove your vaccination status. So just like go in and show them your card and it's like, okay, you don't need to wear a mask.
Well, that's not too bad. And speaking of gyms, we're both trying to get healthy here.
Trying to.
So anyone out there that is trying to get healthy, comment on. I'll be posting a social media post with the links to all of our Audible, Spotify, wherever you find this podcast. Go ahead and post what you guys are trying to do, your resolutions this year. What you guys are trying to do. Interact with us a little bit. Go on Patreon. Follow us on social media. Talk shit.
We could start a diet competition.
Ooh,
that could be fun.
Ooh, all right. Well, we can just between you and I now, and we'll start it out.
To lead by example.
Yeah, exactly. What I want to do is I want to put on 5 pounds of muscle by spring break time.
So you want to gain weight?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to lose 10 to 15 pounds, mostly because I don't have as much lean muscle mass. So I need to get rid of the fat while still putting on muscle, which is kind of possible. I have not been very disciplined lately over the past 2 years.
Well, I mean, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I was a avid gym rat my whole life since I was 12, and COVID fucked my world up.
Yeah, COVID.
Fucked it up.
It was it definitely changed my mindset because from like the 4 years in college, the year I was living here, I, huge gym rat, counted calories,
right.
Almost counted macros when I kind of wanted to.
Right.
And then COVID hit and I could do none of that. I couldn't go to the gym anymore. And I thought it was going to freak me out, but it was almost comforting because it broke my gym obsession in a way that I couldn't do anything about.
Honestly, same, because I was hyper obsessed with it, and I shouldn't have been. There's more to life than just posting gym pics on Instagram and shit.
It was. I don't know if this is how your mindset was, but if I skip going to the gym intentionally, that made me hate myself a lot. But when COVID happened and I couldn't go to the gym, that kind of re-centered my balance in a way.
Right. Almost like reset your priorities a little bit.
Right. It absolutely did. But now I need to readjust my priorities back towards getting healthy because the pendulum swang a bit too much in the other way.
I know. I feel that so hard. So you want to lose 10, 15 pounds. So maybe I'll do my goal to 10 pounds of
gain
muscle.
10 pounds of
Yeah,
muscle,
so
and
that's why it's closer to.
by a spring. Do you have a day set?
I like to be done by the end of March, like the last day of March.
I was gonna say April 1st. I want to be down. That's actually really funny that it lines up that way. I was literally gonna say April 1st.
Because you got to give yourself 90 days to change yourself, at least.
What do they say about habits? It takes
21 days.
21 days for a habit to set in.
But it's really more like 33 days, to be honest. It really is. Like 21 days is great and all, but like
That's when it starts to set in.
that's when you start seeing results. You know what I mean? Like you start seeing results at 3 weeks, and then you continue doing it. But people see that 3 week results and like, oh fuck, I can go get a cheeseburger now.
Right. It's that reward system.
Yes.
That's hard to say. Jesus. Reward system that I don't know why we have that as like a cultural thing. It's like, oh, I did so well. Now I'm going to reverse some of the progress.
Well, no, 100%. And there's art in that discipline. You know, like coming from someone who's also been obsessed with the gym, there's an art in it. It's like I have to plan everything out, you know, by almost like 10 minutes at a time. Make sure I get my food at the right time, making sure I hit the gym at the right time. And when you're a gym person, you're scheduled.
I feel like that was more like early 2000s gym rat though.
That's my mindset.
Because like I started getting into the gym in like the mid 2010s. If it fits your macros, anabolic window doesn't exist. Like the complete opposite of the
Right.
super disciplined pumping iron early 2000s. And now it's even starting to swing back towards, okay, so there's more to life than macros. There kind of is an anabolic window. Mind muscle connection is kind of a thing, but it's not the only thing you have to worry about.
Right. See, like I grew up with that old mindset. 'Cause,
Right.
Like, I grew up in kind of like the kind of the golden age of the late 90s of bodybuilding.
Right.
Like Dorian Yates and all that kind of shit. Like, and that's what I wanted to do. And I had that. I learned from all the old school guys at the gym. Like I went to this place in Ashburn, Virginia, that was like kind of like the mecca of like Northern Virginia for
Yeah.
bodybuilders. Like Dave Bautista used to go there.
Seriously?
Yeah, the guy, like you know the neck machine, like
It's
it's really old school machine.
the machine or like the attachment?
It was like one of those hammer strength machines, but like it was like a neck. You could put your neck on it, and you do like neck.
I don't think I've ever seen that as a machine. I've seen like the attachment they put on cables.
Okay, it's kind of like that, but it's an actual machine.
Right.
And dude, like at the time, like all my brother's friends, like the max they could do is 35 pounds on it. Like that's a lot of weight for your neck. Batista had 245s on it.
I used to do the whole like put plate on my forehead and lay off the end of a bench.
Yep.
And it was the stupidest looking thing.
But it works.
I don't even know if it did because like I don't think I mean my neck was definitely stronger, but I didn't like put any neck mass on. But it was definitely stronger. Like I could have felt my neck like leaner, which is a weird fucked up thing to say for people that aren't gym rats to have a lean neck.
As we're talking on an art podcast about the art of bodybuilding and art of discipline.
Right, yeah.
I've been doing jaw workouts every morning. You bite it like.
Is that an actual like tool you have? What's mewing? Is that what they call it?
Something like that. And honestly, I've seen like a little bit of results on my face. Like I was getting a little bit chunky face for a second.
I heard because I like my first again foray into bodybuilding was that like mid 2010s when like the whole mewing, jaw maxing, borderline red pill stuff was getting really big.
Yeah.
And then there was starting to be more research that you can't really like put on jaw muscle or a better jawline just by doing that.
No, it has to be everything. It's diet, workout. Like you have to be doing all the above to have any kind of results with that.
Right.
But what I learned was I own my own personal training studio kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. My big thing was, like fad diets have been in fitness ever since the 50s.
I was going to say probably like 50s or 60s.
Yeah, fad diets have always been like that. You know what I mean? It was back in the day with steak and eggs and, like really weird.
Have you ever seen like 70s diet books? It's like a cigarette, a single egg, and a glass of wine for breakfast.
Or sometimes it's a beer with an egg in it.
I completely forgot that was a thing. They call it like red eye or something.
That was Arnold's big thing.
Yeah.
So beer with like 2 or 3 eggs in it, raw.
I mean, it hasn't changed that much. You hear the bodybuilders now, they like take a couple shots before they go on stage, like a couple hours before they dry their body out.
I used to do bodybuilding for like fitness photography. Just only did like 2 or 3 shoots. It wasn't like a lot.
Yeah.
We had to have a glass of red wine the night before to lean ourselves out.
It's crazy. It's the absolute extreme end of health and fitness, which is absolutely not healthy.
No.
It is the worst mindset possible.
No, and that's like all you think about and do is
Right.
when you're in that.
It's borderline mental illness, but you look like a society's expectation of a healthy person. So no one expects fit people to be that screwed up in their head about food.
No, I'm going to tell you a story too. So again, being in the fitness industry for that long, I've heard a lot of stories, tons of them about this kind of shit. So back in the day, like early 2000s, they would do an elephant testosterone before they go on stage.
As like a intravenous or like a pill?
Just intramuscular.
Jesus.
And they would do that, and it would lean you out so hard that you could get like up to like 0.2% body fat, which is honestly dangerous levels.
Right, that's
you
like
could die.
You will die if you're that for like a day.
Yeah. So like, it's funny. Like you look like a Greek god, but you have the strength of a kitten.
That is the biggest thing too. Like the leanest I ever was, I was the weakest.
Yep.
But I still like looked more muscular. It's freaking backwards. Everything about it.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with hydration too. Like your muscles are extremely dehydrated at that point. You know, because at a certain point, like you have to cut water.
It's water fasting,
which is not healthy at all.
No.
By any means necessary. But I think we're finally getting to an age where people are trying to like balance things out.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, I mean, I can still go out.
There's so much information out there.
There's too much, and there's all these influencers telling you what's right. Take this supplement, do this. And what's really right about the, again, something I learned is why don't people do more genetic tests? Find out what exactly works for you, fitness-wise. I used to sell genetic tests, and I didn't sell more of them. Because I got my genetic test back, and I've been following mine, and I only go 4 or 5 times a week, and I still look decent.
I feel like most people don't need to be that extreme, though, unless they're a hobbyist.
Well, no, but check this out, though, right? So let's say that I spend a ton of money on supplements and food for diet and new gym membership and new workout clothes, stuff like that, right? And I do 21 days of it, and I get frustrated because I don't see results because I'm not doing a workout or a diet that's genetically for me.
Right.
You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna stop, and then you're gonna wait 6 months, and you have another moment like, hey, I want to get fit again, and you're gonna spend all that money again. And if you just got a genetic test to begin with, figure out what to do right the first time, you might see results and keep going.
But do you think that's too complex and it scares people from simply watching what they eat or being more active? Because I feel like for 99% of people that don't have borderline body dysmorphia, that is all they need is just to be more mindful. I know like mindfulness is a buzzword that I absolutely despise, but unless you're the kind of person that actually knows what a macro is, that's probably all you ever need, and it's probably a lot healthier that way.
Well, I do agree 100%, but I do think a majority of the population that's trying to get healthy is frustrated
because there's
too much information.
Unless you know exactly what to look for, you have 17 different things. Go keto, or sugars aren't bad for you, or any kind of diet that isn't sustainable isn't going to be sustainable.
Exactly. That's why I think if you had a piece of paper that just told you exactly what you need to eat and lift, then you can
build it off of that.
Yeah, it builds confidence off yourself too, because you're not trusting random people on the internet.
Right.
You know, you're trusting science.
It's the people that are trying to get on a diet. I especially hate keto in particular. I know it works for some people, but it's not sustainable. You can't do that for the rest of your life. And the moment you get off that diet, you don't know how to eat because you'd have your entire breakfast be a cup of coffee with a stick of butter in it. Like,
honestly, again, genetically speaking, that might work for some people.
But it's not sustainable.
No, it's really not. Like, I mean, just eat balanced, man. Like, just eat balanced foods, as healthy as possible. Stop going out to fucking McDonald's 2 or 3 times a week.
Even then, like, it's not, you can still lose weight and still eat fast food. It's a just balance. Before I moved to Denver and became a bit of a debaucherous individual with my alcohol consumption, I was pretty lean just by eating a balanced diet of like protein focused.
Abs are built in the kitchen, not the gym.
It's like those ridiculous motivational posters. Do you find motivation and stuff like that, those kinds of posters?
Fuck no. I find humor in them.
They're funny how, I don't know, like I know they might work for some people, but when I see stuff like that, it's like, oh, okay, that's just weird.
There's only one that ever got to me, and there was this old gym in Leesburg, and there was a guy that was like in a wheelchair, and he ended up going to the gym like 6 months, and there was a poster next to him, he was standing. And I was like, that's inspirational.
I wonder if it was like a nerve thing. That sounds like it's What's like the televangelists that raise people out of their?
Oh my god. The art of we're going to change it to the art of stealing. Let's talk about
The art of stealing.
Joel
Osteen. Who's a Copeland guy that looks like an actual vampire?
They all do. They all look like they're possessed.
It's all of that blood of Christ they drink. I guess they turn into vampires.
Fucking Christ, man.
So, do you have any other resolutions for the new year, or just get back in shape?
Well, that's number one. I'd really like to do another fitness show, like in July or something like that. Like,
okay,
that'd be like a great overall goal and keep me off drinking and.
Yeah, exactly. To have that close of a goal too. That's only 6 months away.
Yeah, and I could do like well, it's not physique, but it's one of the other ones like they jump
classic.
Yeah, classic. You don't have to like be super shredded.
Yeah, you just have to look classic.
Exactly. Yeah.
the 60 is super shredded.
I think that's what the best look is. The 60s and like I know Arnold
that you look like
also
a
in the 70s,
person,
but yeah, exactly.
You don't look like a mass monster.
No, but I do want to start reading more. I started doing this too. I started investing in crypto this past week.
What'd you get in?
I've got a few dollars in AMP, Fetched IA. I just bought Ethereum.
Yeah, Ethereum.
That's what it is, and I have $10 of Bitcoin.
I put like $75 into SafeMoon last like April because I figured it had enough media attention that it wasn't going to fizzle out, and it hasn't.
How's it been doing?
It's mostly stagnated since the fall, but I felt like it was the kind of thing that I would invest in and forget about for 3 years and then look back on it and then realize there's like $50 million in there, like a lot of people did with Bitcoin.
I know, right?
You always hear in like the late 2010s, like 2018, 2019, when Bitcoin like really started to pick up steam, all these journalists that like bought Bitcoin back in 2010 or something just to write an article about, they realize they have several $1 million now because they just forgot about it. But that's my plan with SafeMoon. That's my new lottery bet, is to just sit on it for a couple years until I can retire off of it.
What about you? Do you have any resolutions about investing?
Be more educated. It's the kind of thing that like I want to know more about, just that way I can start to kind of get into it a little bit, just to have an extra source of income. But mostly, crypto or anything that's not so much a long-term investment like stocks or bonds or indexes that make more sense. And I have some invested in that, but I want to make more money quicker.
Yeah, exactly. I have like $120 in my. I do stash. I do stash. I have some money in that, and I actually got paid dividends already.
Dang.
Yeah, there's only 3 cents, but
It's something.
I'll take anything, man.
It's better than a sharp stick in the eye.
Yeah, true. But doing I do $5 a week in that, and I'm gonna do $5 a week in crypto, and just start doing that.
Yeah. Instead of the whole save $5 a week and put in a piggy bank, which is what a lot of people do for New Year's resolutions. That's
terrible.
You're going to lose money.
Yeah, the money sitting there is actually bad because of inflation.
It's literally going to lose money.
Yeah, but I also I really want to. I've been trying to start meditating more.
I can't meditate. My brain is too noisy to meditate.
I get like 2 or 3 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. But I'm hoping to work up, slowly work my way up.
I mean, that's the way it is. I'm just not a very patient person. I guess it's like my adult onset ADHD that it's like I can't sit still long enough and quiet because my thoughts keep going. Like, okay, that's not meditating. That's just sitting.
I'll try to focus on my breathing and stuff, and I'm like, oh, what are they? I got groceries. Oh,
I just think about. I think too much about breathing to not think about breathing.
It's so true. I understand that completely. What about you, man? What about some of your other New Year's resolutions you got?
I'm trying to. It's honestly mostly just kind of get my physical health back in shape, because I feel like that's kind of led to a lot of the other problems I have in life, is how much I've let my physical health go over the past year and a half. So I figure if that's one thing I can demonstratively change, then I can work from there.
Well, I mean, that's fair enough. That's honestly my thing, is like if I can get myself back in a good schedule with working out and stuff and stay with it, then everything else could balance.
Might fall back in line, because I feel like a lot of my problems that I can point towards, it's because I party too much in the weekends and just screws up the rest of the week.
No, I'm in the same boat, man. Like even during football, I would be like, you know what, I can drink on a Sunday because it's football Sunday.
But then Monday you're just
Monday be fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, well, I'll wait to go to the gym. The next thing was 5 o'clock. And like, well, you know, I still got 4 days if I go on Tuesday. And make it Tuesday, and then we drink on podcast night some nights. And then I'd wake up on Thursday and be like, well, I'll wait and have a half-ass workout. And this whole week, you know, no drinking so far, and had some great workouts. Great.
Great. It's amazing what you can do when your body's not dehydrated and deplete of all nutrients.
Yeah, and your dopamine is not depleted.
I know. Who would have thought that actual poison is poisoning us? This might sound a little weird, but definitely this year I want to get more adventurous with my sense of style. Just get out of my comfort zone. Because I try to do that, and it's harder to do, not to like body shame myself, but it's harder to do with like the shape I'm in now, because I know it's not permanent. Like right. I plan to get back lean again. Right. So once that hits, I plan to get a lot more ridiculous with my sense of style and just keep trying new shit.
Like, what do you want to try?
I don't know. Like, just less. No, like right now I'm wearing a freaking jean jacket flannel type shirt, which is the absolute outfit of Denver. Just, I don't know, it's just more crazy. Not crazy, but just something more unique.
I'm in the same boat, man. I've had literally pretty much the same clothes the past 10 years. Like, I'm still wearing stuff from college.
I mean, I have a drinking problem, I guess. I mean, I still wear clothes in college, but that's because college for me was like 2 years ago. Three years ago. Oh, geez, almost graduated 3 years ago.
Wait till you get to your 10 year.
That's too old. I can't imagine. Yeah, these pants I've had since like my junior year of college.
I mean, I guess it's okay for me, like saying I can still fit in stuff from college.
That's a lot of people's like benchmark is, oh, can I still fit into my college gear?
That's all I have. But not the same way. I want to, you know, I'm sitting here wearing a flannel too.
Because everyone wears flannels.
It's Colorado casual.
You have to.
But no, I'm the same boat. Like, I really want to get back in like old like 90s vintage clothes.
Flannels.
It's kind of like that's early 90s.
What when I think of the 90s, I just think of flannels. Really. What else is in the 90s? Like flannels and like light wash jeans.
I'm about to show you the epitome of style in the 90s.
Is it Jinkos?
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. What did he wear in the 90s?
Literally like right now he would have some drip.
That is the funny thing, is how much fashion now is a chimera of like 60s, 80s, and 90s, with like the hipsters staying more towards the 70s browns and corduroys.
Yeah, here you go. All right. So if you guys go on to Google while you're
listening, that's just straight up streetwear.
This guy's straight fucking swag.
Yeah, that is just straight up streetwear. And then Nick Cage, the bomber.
Fucking Nick Cage. No, but yeah, like I mean, just that kind of like weird old 90s stuff. I love that shit.
I want to get more tattoos this year.
That's a huge goal of mine.
I think I might step back from going to as many concerts, because I feel like for the price of a concert and like a drink or two there is like the cost of a small tattoo.
I mean, yeah, you can get small tattoos for $40.
Yeah, like 50 to 100, depending on the concert, was like about what it cost.
Sorry, I'm smoking some weed. How many concerts do you think you go to a week on average?
During the fall, like late summer, fall, late fall there was a 2-month span where I was going to at least 2 a week. I haven't been to any now in literally over a month because it's December and January. No one's touring.
Right.
My next show, actually, I might go to a show tonight if tickets get cheap enough. But my next show I have booked isn't until next month, February. And then March, like, kicks back. I think I have 5 shows in March right now. So that's at least 1 a week.
It's not bad. That's expensive, though.
Thankfully, most of the artists I see aren't. I think I've only been to 4 shows that cost more than $50.
Oh, that's not bad then.
No, it's really not.
That's really not bad at all. I thought it was like $100 a ticket. Cause
no, I don't think I've ever. The like super small Lumineers show I saw in Boulder was $90, and that was the most expensive single show I've seen. But they also like debuted their brand new album, like all brand new songs no one's heard before, like no phones in the event whatsoever.
Well, I think every now and then with those kind of shows, like shows that you really want to see, like Lumineers and stuff like that, like I spent $120 to see Slipknot once. It was worth it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you spend that money, it is worth it.
There are a couple artists that I would see no matter the cost. Like Camp is one that if he ever comes to Denver and doesn't play, I mean, I will see him at Red Rocks, but I would love to see him at a smaller venue where you're not kind of like out in an amphitheater. I would pay any amount of money to see that show.
I'll tell you, those little small intimate shows, totally different vibe.
It's what I love about live music is when you go to those small shows, everyone there knows them. It's do you know Amigo the Devil? Have you heard of him?
I've heard.
He's like acoustic murder folk.
Yeah.
I've never been to a show where everyone knows every single word to every song more than that show. The absolute most die-hard fans I've ever been to was at his show.
Absolutely love that. I have my own little small club story. Avenged Sevenfold had to cancel a show in Baltimore, so the only way they started to come back, and they did, but they had to book 3 small shows, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Completely awesome. I had to go to a small show, and it was the guitarist's birthday.
Oh, heck yeah.
It was so dope. They brought him out his own bar. Like, he had a bar on stage.
Like a little wheelie bar?
Yeah, like this it was an awesome metal-looking bar. It had like liquor bottles all over it, and they're pouring drinks for the band and stuff like that, and they're pouring liquor in people's mouths.
That's amazing.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it happened. I was this close to singing on stage too, and some girl got in front of me.
Pushed ahead.
Fucking cow. I mean, what?
So have you ever been to any shows out here like recently at all?
I went to one show 3 weeks ago. It was over the Blue something on Broadway.
Bluebird.
Something like that. Yeah.
It
was a metal show. I went with my friend Kayla.
Do you remember what show it was? Trying to think who was even around here 3 weeks ago.
No, it was like a really small, no-name bands kind of thing. It was cool. I haven't really been to a lot of shows. I've missed going.
That was I've talked about this before, but that was one of the biggest reasons why I moved here. Another this year, I want to get more back into hiking. I kind of was lazy about it last year because it all leads back to drinking and partying too much, that if I was out till 2-3 in the morning, I wouldn't, wake up at 6 to go for a hike. Right. Because that's what you have to do out here. You can't like wake up at a leisurely time because by the time you get to the trailhead, it's all full of Subaru Outbacks.
And that one STI that's revving.
One of those that just scrapes on every single rock. Because I have a Subaru, I can make it up the mountains.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I don't know why you do it. Because the Subaru's just so good at driving in snow anyway. Like, why are you going to slam it?
But then you get the people that get way too confident, and then they're the ones that wind up in the median because they think, oh, I have a Subaru. I can drive at my normal speed in the snow. Do you follow I-70 things on Instagram?
It's funny as shit. I
love the videos of just like cars like sliding sideways like down the road.
Well, speaking of that, so you got from Virginia. Did you see that shit about I-95?
Was it 20 hours it was shut down?
24.
Jesus.
There was like this helicopter, like like the news was like over top of it. People have nowhere to go to the bathroom. So like zooming on this guy getting out of his car, like what this guy's doing? He opens up 2 doors and starts pissing, and his dick's on live TV.
Did you hear about the guy that had a $700 Uber bill because his Uber reimbursed him? But yeah, he had a $700 bill because he was stuck there on the highway.
Can you imagine the Uber driver wasn't very talkative too?
Just sitting there. I feel like you'd have to be pretty good friends with that person. But if you both make it out alive without killing each other, you both are now blood brothers.
Oh my god, I can imagine, especially oh my god, I hate this Uber driver. It's like, oh, we're stuck. 24 hours later.
Just absolute silence. That's the one time I would like a talkative Uber driver.
Yeah, and then you get slapped with a $700 Uber bill.
Have you ever had an Uber when you're like a little too drunk and they just won't stop talking and you're like, oh my god, please just let me revel in my self-pity for like 20 minutes?
Yeah, I've had that a lot, and I've also been the guy who won't shut up.
I've been both ends. I've been both sides of that spectrum. It's a problem with being a shy extrovert.
I feel that so hard. I feel that so hard.
So I'll either just sit in the corner and say nothing, or I'll just talk way too much about utter nonsense.
Yep. No, and
it's weird seeing them so quiet.
Yeah, so everyone listening, usually the dogs are going crazy trying to.
You usually hear them in every other episode howling from the back room, and now they're just sleep. I think it's because it's so cloudy out. It feels every time it's cloudy, it feels too much like home, and I don't like it. It feels too much like upstate New York.
I hate overcast. Like DC was like that all the time. Fucking hated it, and everyone's all pissy and stuff too when it's overcast. Like I'm not getting enough vitamin D.
You don't realize how much sunlight affects you until you move to a place like Denver where it's sunny all the time, and you're like, oh, it's 2 degrees out, but it's sunny, so like I'm not miserable.
Well, no, like I've never been in a place where it could be below freezing and you can still like comfortably wear shorts. Thursday when it was I think 2 degrees, when I was like walking to my car, I thought, oh, it's kind of chilly, but it's not that cold. I got in my car and it was 2 degrees. If it was 2 degrees in New York, I would die. Yeah, the weather here deceives you.
It's so deceiving.
It is. Like we'll actually have like the same weather here as like my parents in North Carolina. Like it's a beach.
Yeah.
And I literally FaceTime them at the pool in February, and they're like, we can't even go to the beach. I'm like, that sucks to suck.
I have friends I visited from like all over on the East Coast over New Year's, and when they got back, they were like, it's the same temperature here as it was there, but it feels so much colder.
It's the humidity, man.
I don't know what it is, but something about the weather here is amazing, which is why everyone's moving to Denver.
Everyone is. Well, I mean, that's pretty good on resolutions, don't you think?
I think I've covered everything. It's, again, just mostly health and fitness. That's my goal. I'm not usually a huge fan of resolutions because I don't feel like you should have to wait for a specific day to
100%.
advance on your goals. Because we're not like a computer, or like we're not a base 10 logarithm that has to hit specific check marks. It's, oh, I want to change this about this. Okay, so let's just do it.
Yeah, I what's wrong? Oh, yeah? Got something caught in your throat? What's wrong?
I love when dogs do the head turn
What?
thing.
Well,
What was that? Oh.
well, 2022 is going to be the year of health and fitness.
I think for a lot of people. I think because even though COVID's still around, everything is still kind of open. People are like, okay, we're slightly starting to return to normal life.
Well, that, like, we've all kind of given ourselves, like, well, it's COVID, I can have another drink.
Right, and now it's like, okay, this is the third year of... It's not 3 years, but it's like the third year of COVID. And like, okay, now we actually have to collectively get in shape.
Yeah, like the quote-unquote vacation's over.
Yeah, the COVID-19, which became the COVID-25.
It's never going to go away.
I mean, it's literally not. People are still, I think, just like 3 bubonic plague cases a year. It's just going to be a part of our life, like everything else.
I think the more that it goes around, the more we're going to build up tolerances for it.
Right, and there's going to be new strains, new variants. We're going to be getting boosters like once a year. That's just going to be the nature of it, as long as I can still go to concerts.
Well, everyone, we want to thank you guys for watching this episode, or listening to this episode. You're not watching it, I guess.
I mean, it could be like the old school like Windows with the
media players.
Yeah, you could watch that and just zone out.
That's why I watched it at Acid when I was like 12. Great time to do acid.
I mean, looking at it, kind of is like you're doing acid anyway.
A little bit.
I feel like it'd be too much if I was on acid and watching that.
It's like, this is too much.
That'd be a little too much.
Well, we guys hope you guys have some good resolutions yourselves. You guys are doing them and following through with them. We also want to thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys are following us on Patreon, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else that we are. We're on LinkedIn.
We're on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
I really hope no one follows. I hate LinkedIn so much.
I stopped using it.
I despise every single thing about LinkedIn culture.
I really have I have like 7 messages of people that want to connect, and I just don't.
It's not even that. It's just all of like the super smarmy, like no one talks like that. And if they do, I really don't want to be their friend. I hate LinkedIn.
No, it's a little narcissistic.
Oh my God, it's so narcissistic.
Well, yeah, follow us everywhere, and peace.
Peace.